Big Z Reviews. Hi, my name's Brandon Zarzyczny, but you can call me Big Z. And today I'm doing a review for the excellent book, The Shadow of the Wind, by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. And this how it came about is kind of interesting because, I saw a popular thread on Reddit books, talking about The Shadow of the Wind and how it was such an amazing book. And it's interesting because, this was written in Spanish, and then the guy that was making the thread was writing in English, but he had read the book in French. This kind of shows that how wide this book has spread, because it's been translated into a bunch of different languages, and it's just a really interesting novel. It takes place in Barcelona, Spain, in 1945. So this is, after the Civil War and after World War II. So this is a country that's has multiple healing wounds, and the main character is Daniel, and he is the son of a bookseller, and his mother had died, and he was mourning her, and the dad, to have him something special on his birthday, took him to the cemetery of lost books. Essentially, this is this repository of books that people have forgotten, so that they just store them, so some record will remain of these books that have been lost to time. And he tells them that go through the library and search for a book and take it home, and that is your book. That is you. You're it's something so special. And he searches and he finds this one book called The Shadow of the Wind by Julian Carax, and he reads it and just absolutely loves it. But then he finds out that all this weird stuff about this book and all the Julian Carax's books is someone no one can find anyone, and people that do find him, that there's some guy is going around buying all the books and burning them, and there's so many interesting things, and that he wants to try to learn more about Julian and who he was, and the author, is such an amazing author, but no one read him, and what happened to him is he is apparently he left to France and wrote his books there, but then he came back and after having a duel with someone, and then died in the streets of Barcelona. And he wants to try to and it's a lot of the book is almost an investigation, a mystery, trying to find out what happened in the past. And I wasn't sure going into it what exactly is it a fantasy, is it this historical fiction, is it mystery? And it's kind of a little bit of all of that, because he meets this guy that wants to buy the book from him, that's he smells like burned books, and he has a leathery face, and he calls himself the devil, in the book The Shadow of the Wind that they wrote, one character in it is the devil, and that's who he says he is. And it's so interesting, because it actually gave me a weird dream when I was reading it, because I imagine it's so much of it is it's a book within a book within a book, and I dreamt that I was seeing him. It was such a kind of so well written, because it's really kind of you don't know what is going on, and the mystery is slowly revealed as Daniel, with the help from his this person that he finds that was a beggar on the street that helped him one night. He gets him a job at his father's bookshop, searching out rare books, and he was tortured by the military police, by the police, and that the head of this police force that's terrorizing the city, he comes under the eye of him, and everything is kind of related. They all people that are they also this police officer, this evil man is also he had interacted with Julian Carax back in the day. So like everything is kind of interconnected, and it's like so well written, and so like you just kind of get enveloped in the novel. Like it's definitely, it's not like a lot of times the type of book I usually like to read, but I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. And it's funny, like I heard that like it was like there was like part of a series, and then I was reading it, and I won't spoil it, but I reached the end, and it's like such a perfect ending. And I'm like, how is this part of a series? But I bought like the next book and I read it, and it's like, okay, it's just kind of like in a similar sort of theme. They're not like actually a series, but it's like a theme series. The only thing I will say is that so much of the book is like the slow building of the mystery and him finding out bits and pieces of Julian Carax's story, and like by a certain point the narrative shifts, and like he finds the character's like journal, and like kind of like everything is explained, and it's like, huh, okay, like it's interesting because the explanation is really interesting, but at the same time it's like, well, yeah, it feels like it's almost too perfect, or like it's too, they tell you too much. Like kind of solves everything, but at the same time, what the story it tells is very interesting, and I really liked how it ended. You know, Daniel is a really cool character, and like I like that, like he is like having a first love of his life, and it's like reminiscent of how of Julian Carax's relationship is like he fell in love with his friend's sister, and like they were like there's a lot of drama there, and they like his actual story like it's such like it's like almost like a reincarnation of Julian Carax, like where it's like history is repeating itself through him. Like it's such an interesting like mirrors in the story like to each other. Some really interesting storytelling in this book. Like, I would definitely recommend The Shadow of the Wind. It's a very interesting novel. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.